Hi guys, Lady Lush here and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to give you my review on INZOI versus The Sims. Both games I love very much, but I want to give an honest and brutal review. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree, and that's what the comment section is for below, so everyone can chime in and share your views as well. Let's kick this off by saying, why are people already complaining? People just love to complain.
I'm a citizen. I have a right to speak. I have a right to speak.
We have INZOI and we have The Sims. Guess what, guys? We can play both games. It's not the end of the world. We are in a state right now where people are deciding, I've been with The Sims from the beginning of time. If you're one of the old school and you've been there for 20 years, or if you're more of the newer and you've been there in the last 10 years, it's still a long time. Good old relationship. You feel like you're cheating, that you're being disloyal by moving on to a new game or playing something else at the same time. Guess what, guys? You're not. Okay. It's okay to play two games in the same field. Take Call of Duty, Battlefield, Apex. They're all shoot 'em up games. Some people like to play them all. Some people select who they play and who they don't. What I've noticed in the sim life community, it's like you have to be here or you have to be here, and I'm not buying it. You can have fun anywhere you choose to have fun, because do you know what it means? For people who like to watch content, they have more things to watch. For people who like to create content, they have more things to create, and the people who like to play have more things to play. We don't need to choose just one. So that's the first thing that I want to start this off with, because people out here acting like we can't have options. We can have options. It's okay to have options. Variation is a good thing. Okay, cool. So to start with, INZOI is still early access. It's only just come out, but I do have a bit of experience in this game. I've got 170 hours in this game, so I feel like I can give a pretty well-rounded, fair review. And I've got about 20 years experience in The Sims. Okay, so let's move on to the good stuff. So I want to talk about why people are not buying INZOI. Firstly, they may have a potato, no offense to you guys, but some of you out there do have a potato and you're trying to run a game in 2025 that's just not going to be able to handle it. Just like new games coming out now, GTA 6, if you've got a potato, you probably won't be able to run the game. I think that is a fair and reasonable reason for not getting INZOI at this time. Another reason is the price tag, which again is very, very valid. Some people don't want to spend £40 on a game that is early access and they don't know if they're going to like it. Then we have a bunch of you out there who are not getting the game from what I see out here on these streets because other people have said, no, don't get the games. It's soulless. It's lifeless. It can't run. It can't this. It can't that. To me, that group of people, you are missing out. Because you're listening to what other people are saying, you're not finding out for yourself, and you could be missing out on a great opportunity. INZOI is early access. And when I'm directing this, sorry, but I've got to come in from the Sims community here.
What? What the fuck?
Because it's where I hear a lot of the chatter. I'd be in the background just listening on these streets. I'm like, is that how people feel? The loyalty to The Sims is fantastic. As I said, I have 20 years in The Sims. I have been playing this for a long, long time. And we all needed a refresher. We all needed something new in The Sims world. And we got it with INZOI. But then I found, especially when we had big influencers talking about the game, playing the game, and not really hyping it up that much, it led for normal, regular people like us to be like, should I get the game? Shouldn't I get the game? We're so consumed by other people's opinions that we forget to make our own. And that's why I want to give my honest review on both games. So we've got the reasons why people aren't getting the games out of the way. Now for those who have the game, played the game, let's get into it. Quick interruption, if you do end up getting INZOI yourself, you can use my Krafton Creator network code LUSSHY. You just go under the options, gameplay, then go to creator code and then type in LUSSHY, and it just helps your girl out a little bit. I get a little kickback and you get to support the channel. So let's get on with the gameplay. I'm going to go through this in sections, starting with graphics. Do I need to say any more about graphics? We have Sims graphics and we have INZOI graphics. Sims has been around for over 20 years and the graphics have changed and they've got their own little cartoony style and everybody is vibing with it. But let's be honest, everybody's out here on the CC like crazy just to get the realism that we can actually already get in INZOI. And when it comes to style of game, they're in two different leagues entirely. Sims is more cartoony, fun, family looking, where INZOI is more realistic, more lifelike, and has a bit more depth to it. It's not taken away from anything, but realistically, they are both different in that aspect. If you love the cartoony effect of the Sims, then you're not really going to enjoy how it looks on INZOI. Even though they do have some features built within the game that you can change how the game looks. So you can have it black and white, retro, cartoon. So they've really tried to think of those things from the beginning for those of you who like your game to look a certain way. But when it comes to style and graphics, they're two totally different worlds. And it's entirely up to you how you feel about that. That's definitely a personal preference thing. For me, I like them both. Because I was so used to playing The Sims 4 in its static state without any custom content, I was happy for the cartoony. But when I did get the CC and I saw what could be done, God, I didn't go back. To be fair, I haven't picked up The Sims in 2 years because of custom content and CC. Yeah, because every time I had to do an update and every time I had to take when you come from a world when you just play the game and go, to have to fiddle around with all that, I'm like, my brain can't do it. So with INZOI, that stuff is already built in. I don't have to worry about uninstalling my game, taking this out, taking that out. It's already there for the customization of your characters. Speaking of characters, let's talk about character customization. INZOI, early access, base game. The things that you can do, it's phenomenal. The graphics are hyper realistic, the visuals are lovely, and the customizations are so damn cool. And this is base game. And that is one of the things I want people to take away when we are comparing the two games. A game that's been out for 2 months versus 20-year franchise, you know? If we're talking about the character customization, in terms of graphics, depending on what you like, INZOI is definitely visually beautiful to look at. You don't need custom content to create an awesome Zoi. The Sims is also great to customize your characters, but if you do want that realism, you do have to outsource and get custom content. You could try and make the same kind of characters, but the depth, it's just not there. Again, two completely different games. It's about your vibe and what you really do prefer to play with. I am here for the realism. I really do love it. But there are certain things that I think Sims does way better than INZOI in terms of our outfit choices and presets and how we can select what we're going to be wearing. Sims allows you to choose multiple outfits per occasion, which I think is fantastic. If that was implemented into INZOI, then there would be no more competition in terms of the creator Zoi, creator sim situation. INZOI specifically allows you just to go into create a character mode, so you don't have to worry about gameplay. You can just sit there and create a whole bunch of characters and designs and upload them to your canvas, which is great. Whereas the Sims character creation is designed for gameplay in mind. Even though you can create your characters and outfits and then upload them to the gallery, it hasn't been designed for sections. Whereas with INZOI, we've got the character creation, build creation, and when you go into a new game, then you can select all of the characters and all of the outfits that you've made and then move on to your gameplay. And again, when it comes to character customization, Sims 4 has had a long time to get this fleshed out in terms of gender, sexuality, ethnicity, diversity. Sims has definitely got that more unlocked, but it's taken a long time. But INZOI have been listening to the community and are working towards becoming more inclusive and diverse, and I love to see it. And also with the clothes customization, you can get so in depth with it. You can tweak little things and craft your own design, your own custom designs made by you, your colors, your style, your choice. And I love that about INZOI, that you can get so involved in the whole of your character creation. And if you want to outsource, you can 3D print objects, and you can actually get your own prints and textures and add those to your clothes as well. So I think that's fantastic. So when it comes to choosing your traits, ambitions, and the desired life of your character, they are both very similar in that you have your main aspiration and then you have the little traits to go along with it. The thing I like about INZOI is that once you do pick an ambition, it kind of tells you along the side the preferences that match. So if you want to cater your gameplay towards that, you can. It's great for storytelling and already giving you an idea of how your Zoi is going to be. And obviously, like The Sims, you can pair up aspirations with traits as well, but they're just done in very different ways. Now let's talk about build mode. They're both very similar in the way that they look and in the way that you can actually build. It's mainly the controls on INZOI that makes it quite tricky, but that's only if you're coming from The Sims. If you're new and fresh to the game, just follow the instructions and do your thing and build something. I actually really enjoy building in games in general, but I found that INZOI, I can get really personal. If there is something that I want, I can really go ahead and get it, because they've got the element of 3D printing and adding your own prints and textures, which I think is absolutely amazing. Some people are not happy that they do have the option for AI and 3D printing in the game. I don't see what the issue is. It's not something you have to use, it's something you can choose. And if you are going to use it sensibly. Use it wisely, and it doesn't have to be a problem in the game, because that is one thing I have seen is people are upset that AI is involved and 3D. I'm like, dudes, AI has been involved in our lives, in our games for years, and nobody has been complaining. So I don't want to hear it now. Okay, I get that AI can be intrusive if you're an artist. I'm actually an artist myself, so you know I don't want no one stealing my shit, but at the same time, in a game like this, it's going to be for customizing your builds and your worlds, and you're going to be using it in a sensible way. So I don't think that's a reason for people to start getting upset and complaining. I'm not here for any of that whatsoever. You don't have to use these options, they are just there as options. So I just thought I'd get that out of the way. But what you can do with the 3D print and the texture element, I think it's a game changer if you have a vision and if you're a designer, interior, crafting. It's so good. Don't get me wrong, in The Sims you can make beautiful homes. With the base game stuff and with the normal stuff, you can make homes, but you do have to have a shit ton of packs if you want things to work. Sims, I'm finding out at the moment it's like pay to play. If you want to have some of the stuff, you better get your ass to the bank. You know, you want to have a lovely garden, you want the swings, you want this, you want that, go and buy one of the packs, go and buy the decor, go and spend all of your monies. Whereas INZOI, as a base game, it gives you the option to use what they have here, which I must admit, it's not much, but it's base game, so I don't expect it to be flooded with everything. I'm sure in time we're going to get so much more, and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm someone, if I've spent my money on something, I'm going to give it a fair crack of the whip. I want to see what I can actually really do with it before I say, I'm putting this down for good. I can't play this. This is broken. This is rubbish. I don't think that at all. It's actually entirely the opposite when it comes to building. At first I was like, oh my god, these janky stairs, the floors, I was getting frustrated because I couldn't understand the mechanics of it. But once I got the hang of it, I was like, oh, you could do this. I like it. So when it comes to designing and creating something that you visualize, you can pretty much do that in INZOI because you have the flexibility of changing all of the colors and tones and textures of pretty much everything. Everything is customizable. It gives you room to create your actual vision. If you're just someone who likes to build and design, this is just perfect for you. So if you're not into the gameplay and you just want to build, have fun, definitely use the 3D printing option because it just expands things a little bit more. And I will actually have videos on how to make 3D printed objects functional as well, because there are ways around it and the game implements it, and it gives you the space to be creatively free in all aspects of the gameplay. The example that I'm showing right now is actually on my other channel, Lush Builds, where I actually just build in games. So I have a channel for my gameplay and a channel for my builds. But what I love about this is you can take your time, you can figure out what kind of style you want and try and find the things that you want and put it into the world. It's already got a built-in BB dot move objects. It's just holding the Alt key and you can move, shift. It's absolutely fantastic. I love that. Obviously with The Sims, you can create awesome, amazing homes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, you still have to outsource custom content if you want it to look a certain way, but you can never get it to be directly, specifically how you want. Whereas with INZOI, you can do just that. So I'm actually creating a church right now for this video. I've made a cross and now I can put this cross into my game. And when I'm ready, I can upload this as a single thing for other people to get from the canvas or the whole build. Actually, at this time, the whole build is in Canvas, so go ahead and check that out. But I just love the customization of build mode. It's really good. There still needs a lot of work done in terms of bugs and placing things down and removing other things and stuff like that. Definitely needs some work on that. But I have found a lot of workarounds when I am building. The downside of building in INZOI is the landscaping. Golly, it's the downside. Because I like to landscape. I really like to create a vision and bring it to life. You can't really do that in INZOI at its current state in early access because there's no real landscaping options in terms of terrain. Can't like dips and bumps and grass and no paint tool like what we have in The Sims. We can't do that, and there's no pools at the moment. I think we will be getting them in the future, but for right now, we have to use what we have. And I myself came up with a workaround for building and landscaping, and I do have a video for that on my channel as well. In terms of the landscaping, I find that I have to do a lot to get what I want out of it, and that part is frustrating. But I do see that there is a section for the landscaping and the outside that hasn't been filled in, so I'm assuming that we do have stuff coming in the future. It's just not here right now. So in the meantime, I'm just working with what I've got, and I'm just using my own creativity to come up with ways to landscape without just plonking some trees and bushes down, because we like to landscape. We want it to fit and match, right? So yeah, that is just one of the only gripes I would say I have with build mode, is that I would love to be able to completely landscape the way I want and to fix some of the bugs and glitches. But The Sims do a fantastic job with the landscaping options. I love the terrain tool, the paint tool. I think they are fantastic options, and hopefully we will get them soon in INZOI. Now let's talk about the exciting one, gameplay. So we're going to include the open world aspect, relationships, jobs. Let's get into it. So when it comes to open world, for a start, I absolutely love that we can roam around and move as we please in INZOI. I thought we was going to be getting that in The Sims at some point, maybe in The Sims 5 if it ever does happen, but there is no open world option in The Sims. We just load screen from one place to the next, whereas in INZOI you don't have to do that. Even when you're with your Zois moving around, if you want to create a new family, you literally just click on the other family and play that family and go about your business. You don't need a loading screen. There are loading screens in INZOI if you want the game to take you places. So if you want to travel here or there, you click on where you want to go and the game can take you and you can get a loading screen. But if you learn the map, you can just drive there or walk there, and I think that is such a cool immersive option to have. Now I want to get onto this subject of soulless, lifeless. Why am I hearing this about INZOI at its current stage? I don't know, because maybe that's just the way you guys are playing your game. I'm afraid it's literally the same as The Sims. We walk in, we get plonked into a lot, and then we decide how we want to do it. You want to go to the job, you want to do a rags to riches, you want to meet a boyfriend, whatever it is. In both games, we're put in a scenario and then we choose and create how our life goes. I am not buying the lifeless, soulless part of the game. I get that some people don't want to have to think about how they're going to play the game, but isn't that what you have to do in The Sims anyway? You come into The Sims and you have to decide if you're getting a job or meeting a neighbor. It's the exact same thing. I think because the mechanics are different, it feels different. That's why people are saying it's lifeless, but you have to pump life into it, hence it being a life simulation game. So you can choose as witty, as silly, as serious, as comfy as you want your game to be. It's just working out the mechanics of this game. If you've come from The Sims and you're trying to play it like The Sims, you're not going to enjoy it because it is very different. You cannot do exactly the same things, but you can implement your style of gameplay to this game and make it as creative and as fun as you want. Me personally, I've always enjoyed a struggle gameplay. I love to survive, I love to struggle, so I make sure that that's how my games are in any kind of game that I'm playing. Even when I played GTA roleplay, I wanted to know I could do it in the rags to riches style. But even with games like that, you have to be immersive. You have to roleplay to make the characters come to life. With life simulation games, it's not a checkpoint A, checkpoint B type of game. There is no end date. Unless you complete all the challenges and tasks, and then maybe it is, but that becomes a job for you as the player to figure out your style of play and how you want your gameplay to go. If you are a dramatic player like myself, it seems to find me, to be fair. I don't ask for it. So even the fire that we've had here, I had no clue that this was going to happen, and it changed my story entirely. And with that change, I ended up adding other features like a church and a funeral, and it just depends how creative you are as a player in terms of how you want it to go. But if you are someone who just wants to play the game and enjoy the features of the game without adding anything extra, you can certainly do that. Just using your character aspirations and traits, you can work with that to build up your story. So if you have picked yourself to be, I don't know, an artist, for example, or a creative, it will show you all of the preferences and the likes and the values that go along with that. And then you can also pick the in-game prompts, if you like, to go with that aspiration that you've picked, and then you just work through those, and then you can build your own story, see if you can complete the challenges. So they do have challenges within the game already. You just kind of got to go and look and match it up to what you're doing. I feel like the town INZOIs themselves do take quite good cues from you, the player. So if you're in a relationship with someone or have some kind of interaction, if you do something that the other ZOI doesn't like, they'll let you know about it, and it doesn't make it easy to repair those kind of relationships. I know that people find it hard making relationships, but it really just depends on what you're choosing to talk about. Does it match your traits? Does it match the situation? You just have to take your time and pick it. You can't jump in straight away and go, what's your relationship status? What's your job? No, you got to build up that kind of friendship. At first I was a bit like, don't know if I like that. But then once I've done it a few times now, so I realized that, okay, it's just building up that relationship, and you also have a log that tells you how the relationship is going with that person. But if you do something that the other ZOI doesn't like, they'll let you know about it. I found myself in a little cheating situation. I thought I could get away with it like I do in The Sims. I got slapped in the face and I was shocked. I was like, wow, this ZOI felt so disrespected that they had to slap me in the face. So you can really get immersed in it. Just depends on how you're playing and what you're doing. It's a whole bunch of fun to be had out there. But having said that, there are still things that INZOI needs to fix in terms of relationships and interactions, like having stacking interactions so you can cook a meal and chat and watch TV at the same time. So I'd love to see more of that. And also, when it comes to working, the tasks that they have at work, I haven't really worked in this game properly because I'm more of a rags to riches player, but I am getting to the job section. But I know a lot of it is rabbit hole stuff. It does give you the options to kind of choose what they do through the day, but it is a long day spent twiddling your fingers unless you've got another ZOI to work with while that is going on. So I'd love to see more in terms of rabbit hole jobs, giving us some more options or being able to speed up the time, and with actually going to work, giving us just more options and making the reward system in the game feel special. So like if you hold an event, for example, give us the bronze, silver, gold system to know that we've done great at the event, that we hit all the targets, that kind of stuff. As players, we do want to feel rewarded for our time and our work, no matter what it is. As humans, we just want to feel like that. So I feel like a reward system in the game for certain things would go a long way. And I'd love to see more options for making money outside of having a job. So things like playing an instrument and busking, making it clear how that actually works. I don't think it's very clear how it works. And just a few more options from skills that you build that can be somehow transferred into money. I'm hoping something like that will come into future in terms of like having your own business and making money from home. That kind of stuff will be really nice to see in the game. And also, as a rags to riches style player, I don't need that welfare check coming in, okay? Just having the options to play the game freely like that would be great. And I'm not sure what they're doing in terms of marriages, if they're going to change the whole getting married before you have a baby. I'm not sure if that will be changed in the future or if that's going to stay. There is a workaround for it, but there's just little things like that in terms of gameplay that could really be improved so it is more immersive and more your style of gameplay. And my last thing for gameplay will be aging. This has to be sorted. Currently we have aging off and aging on, but we don't have the choice to choose who we age up and the lifespan of the aging, and we don't even get to see when our ZOIs age up, which is such a shame because I feel like that takes away from a lot of the gameplay and a lot of the control we have as players, because we can't actually see when anything is going to happen. I know out there they do have some of the time frames, but in terms of in-game, a notification to say that the ZOI is going to age up in 2 days or whatever, that would be fantastic. Something so we can have a workaround, or as I said, so we have control to actually slow it down entirely. We can turn it off, but then when we're aging up kids, it just makes things a bit confusing. And another thing with the aging system, if you turn off aging in one save file, it turns off aging in another save file. So I've experienced by accident my ZOIs aging up in a file where I didn't want them to age up because I turned it on in one file. So each save that we play, it should be able to make fresh new options on aging up and that kind of thing. It shouldn't carry through to a new game. But I really do appreciate the game. I'm enjoying it. I still love me some Sims, but I think we can safely say that there are two different games with two different ways of playing it, and it's up to you as the player to make it as fun and as exciting as you want, or not. Just play and chill. But we do have a roadmap with a lot of new things coming. So we've got mods coming, we've got more stuff coming for the build and character creation and interactions. So we've still got a lot to go. It's the first 2 months of the game, so I'm saying relax, enjoy, have fun. And if you want to see how I play my game, go ahead and check out my videos. I've got a 100 baby challenge, I've got a rags to riches currently, and I'm actually working on a new challenge of my own, which you guys, when it's out, if you want to try it, it might help you with some gameplay ideas. I don't know, but that's something that I do enjoy doing, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And you can also go over onto my other channel, Lush Builds, where I do builds in INZOI and other games. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I've tried to be fair and I hope it's come across that way. Leave your comments below. Keep it nice and clean. Obviously we can disagree, but you know, let's keep it clean in the comments as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.